Again, you got your aprons, you got your face shield. We did get a new hot plate. I want everyone to be very cautious when you're done working with acids. Always wipe the hot plates down, wipe the surface down. Try to remove as much residue as possible so we don't end up ruining. So this was like $600 for this hot plate. Again, you got two carboys here, two carboys behind us, and this one. Again, always check these. I'm going to eventually hook these sensors up, but again, all you're going to see is a red light. And so, and always get in a habit before you dispose of your chemicals. Check these carboys. Make sure that they're not running over. Generally, we only want the line. We only want to get up to the top. See that right there? So do not fill up this line. So don't want to really get any much fuller than that right there. Always empty your chemicals and then dump them. So if I look in here, that one's empty. A lot of times I'll look in those and they'll be full. What'll happen, someone will leave something in there, they won't dump it, someone will come along, will dump something, it'll react with it, it'll foam up. You know, I've had it stuff spit out all over the back of it. So always just put your chemical in and then dump it. Maybe rinse it with a little bit of water. Just take and just throw a little bit of water in there. It doesn't need to be a lot, just to rinse it. And then just hold the drain in for a minute, 30 seconds, just to make sure it all drains out. Yeah, so cup sink 2, one on the right, left, cup sink 1. And they're labeled Piranha, RCA, other non-HF. This is for HF and DOE. So we have, and then when we get the nano strip, there'll be 3 waste streams. So you'll have to, when you do work with the acids, you have to make sure that you're going to be, cautious of what you're disposing of, and make sure they go into the proper waste stream. Here we have solvent bench. Again, you got 2 carboys. You got solvent, developer. So that one's got a little bit in it. What happens a lot of times is people will do develop, or they'll do a mask lift off or something, and they'll have metals in their developer or their solvent, and then they'll dump it, and they won't, or they'll dump it in there, but they won't dump it right away. What happens is all that solid then close to the bottom is clogging the drain up, and then sometimes it gets very hard. I've got to go in and I take the whole assembly apart. I have solvent developer running down my arm, so it becomes a big hassle. So once you pour it, go ahead and immediately dump this thing. Make sure that it's. See, like this one here has got stuff in it, so someone didn't dump it. I wanted that take. It took like 20 seconds. Sometimes you might want to leave the lid off too. Always check these carboys before you dump. Make sure that they're not running over. You can see these are, there's only about that much in the bottom, so they're fine. Clean up the area when you're done. Always leave it in cleaner. Always leave it in a better condition than when you found it. Have ultrasonic baths, have hot plates. Always make sure the ultrasonic, you use water. You run water in it when you're running. Hopefully you know how to use those. If not, always come and see me. Glassware, take care of it, clean it. Be careful about breaking it. It gets very expensive. These things are like $40, $50 a piece, so they get quite expensive. The bottles, you see them empty, fill them up. Or just try to help out wherever you can. You got your ovens here. These are Cleanroom bake ovens. Right now, this one's being used to store the solid source doping wafers. So it's currently got solid source doping wafers in there. They don't need to be this high. I don't know why. Who in the world would turn it up to 200 and something?
Do we need to store open
Well, you don't want them to absorb. You don't want them to absorb moisture. So you're trying to keep the moisture out of it. But they don't need to be at 220. This one's not being used at this time. Matter of fact, I'm just going to shut it off. It doesn't need to be on. If you guys have materials you want to store, I'll clean some of this space out, getting some stuff here that really shouldn't be stored up here, like some of these boxes. But I suggest you get you a little box like this, put your material in it, put your name on it, and you can store it here. I have provided, I bought some wool wafer tweezers, things like that. You'll see them, there's several of them here I bought. They're for general use in the lab. Don't put them in your box and put them away. Try to leave them out. If you want to buy a pair of them, I can tell you they're not that much. They're only like $18, $20. But again, I'd get you a little box. If there's not enough room over here, we got some more storage over here. But in that way, you don't have to keep carrying your material back and forth across campus, or you can keep it in a clean, humidity, temperature-controlled environment. This is Alcatel Deeper Active Ion Etcher for use of etching silicon, Pyrex, SiO2. Mainly it's used for anisotropic etching of silicon. It's a bulk etcher. Uses the Bosch process. It'll etch about 5-6 microns a minute, so it's a pretty rapid anisotropic etcher. You can do isotropic etching too. It's probably one of the more expensive tools in the lab, but it's rightfully so because of the cost of the machine, and also the gases are very expensive. And this small one-cylinder gas is about $4,000. So, but generally that'll last us about 4 years. SF6. That uses multiple gases. It uses C4F8, which is about $18,000 a cylinder. Then the SF6 is about $3,000 to $4,000. You can, but it's kind of overkill for that. You would probably want to use something like the Samco or the Plasma Free.
The Samco is not
Yeah, well, what do you actually, what would you etch? You're not going to add silicon.
I want to add color. And I don't want isotope etching. Can I use the sample because I have this one for non-isotope etching?
You're just going to remove all of it, though, with your photoresist. Right? If you put it in any one of these machines, you're going to get some etching of your photoresist.
I want to etch color.
But you're gonna mask it off somehow?
Yeah.
So you're gonna put photoresist down, then you're gonna put a mask over top of it, a metal mask. So you photoresist, metal, then you're gonna do a mask over top of that, right?
Yeah.
To remove your metal, then you're gonna add your photoresist back. Yeah, you could probably use this. This would work. You just use oxygen, all you'd be using. It would etch it. Again, these are all special use tools. Yeah, you need to go through training to gain access to them. Again, just 3 sessions. First is not enough, but I think it gets you started and gets your feet wet, allows you to at least be able to load and unload and become familiar with the equipment. This is the 3.5 etcher. Uses chlorine gases. Types of bromine, chlorine, BCl3. Generally used to etch things like aluminum, or like say indium gallium arsenide, indium phosphide. It does have capability to do oxide nitride etching, but we're not using it for that at this time because of cross-contamination issues. This is a Trion PECVD. Depositing oxide, nitride. Again, these are not thermally grown films. These are CVD grown films. This here is E-beam evaporator. It's a 4-pocket 7cc E-beam evaporator with heated substrate, rotating substrate holder, and it also has an Kaufman ion gun for substrate cleaning or assisted deposition. Right now we primarily do mostly metals in it. You can do dielectrics, any kind of high vapor material we recommend or we would like to use. Do what? It just going to depend on your mass. So it depends on your mass. But as far as the film, you can probably put down 50 to 100 angstroms. Yeah. It's not going to take long, but yeah, you can do generally 1 to 2 angstroms per second. You know, so yeah, you can do this flash. You can do 10, 15, 20. I mean, some people do a micron in here. It gets kind of messy after a while. Plus the material is, takes quite a bit of material. But people sometimes do a micron in here.
So how about the iPad? So the load on the glass. I use another right?
Oh, you can do it in here. We do a lot of gold on glass in here. Yeah. How much? How thick? Your thickness?
200 millimeters.
Oh, okay, yeah. Perfect.
One layer for the titanium. I mean, between the gold and the...
Yeah, so you can do your tie, gold, back to tie again. Okay. You can do up to 4 materials.
Right.
The only problem, only thing we can't do with this system this time is you can't do co-deposition. I bought it as a machine that in the future we can add another gun so we can do 2 materials at the same time. So you can deposit simultaneously from 2 different guns. But right now you can only do 4 materials. You can do tie, you can do gold, you can do silver, you can do nickel. You can do all those under one evaporation without having to bend the system. Do what? I have to look at the properties of the you say you want to evaporate carbon? Yeah. I'd probably recommend the other system. I need to look at it just to make sure, but yeah, I would probably recommend using the other system. I have to see if carbon is something they recommend. Well, some materials are better, sputters, some are better, E-beam, some are, this depends on the material. You're going to get better film quality, film structure. What kind of film do you want? Amorphous film, crystalline, polycrystalline. This depends on again the material, and there's a lot of things. Heating your substrate, ion assisting your during the deposition will help densify the film. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. But yeah, I can if you want to deposit carbon, there's several microscopes and things like that around the lab. Again, these are all general use tools. I guess that's about it. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. I know you guys are busy users. We wanted to get everyone back through, kind of review, and then you guys are all new to the lab. So, do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Everything pretty straightforward.
So how about the ventilation system? It's still not ready.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to get it back. Yeah. I can call and check and see, but it may be at least another 3 weeks out. So.
Okay.
All right, well, that's it. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
If you guys need notebooks or cleanroom notebooks?
I don't need I mean, in most cases, I only need a CVD. I mean, the TVD. Maybe it's
well, let me get your information so I can put it into the...
Okay, great. Thank you.